St Nicholas is a really ancient building. It was built before England existed. It was built with Roman masonry and tiles from maybe 100 years after the crucifixion. They built an enormous wall, and that wall has been mined to build this particular church. But we know people were being baptised on this site, maybe in the 400s or 500s, but the church itself was consecrated in 879. And that is 1140 years ago. So people have been baptised here for millennia, but our most recent baptism was yesterday, mother and a child. But I wonder how many thousands of families of mothers and children have been brought here in these stones, committing little ones to God, praying for life, that life would be long and healthy. And we also wonder over the years whether people have sat in here and prayed for relatives who are unwell, suffering from plague, from Spanish flu, even from coronavirus. These stones and this space has held the lives of thousands and thousands of people. Today is our feast day, the 6th of December, and our patron is St Nicholas, who we also remember at Christmas. He was the Bishop of Myra in Turkey, and he's remembered for his generosity, and I love the story that he threw money anonymously through the windows of those poor families where the women would not be able to marry and have a respectable life unless they had a dowry, and so he made sure that their lives would be fruitful and would be, well, respectable, and that they'd get a life. So that's our generous St Nicholas, and we'd like to think there's a connection with who we are today and that we model something of his generosity. So we reckon there's been 1140 Christmases celebrated in this building. So I'm minded to take a bit of a longer view. Church has been that sheltering space across those years, and so we have rung the bell today for every year, 1140. And of course 1140 years, if we have a second for each year, means that the bells can be rung for 19 minutes. So as we listen to those bells, the years have flown by, and we have that beautiful kind of skewer timeline through history and connect with the many, many lives that have been in this place. This place has also been the sheltering place for kings and for the great and the good. Richard III would have come through these doors, and the Parliament of Simon de Montfort may well have met in this building. Of course, there had been no Christmas Mass here for at least 20 years during Oliver Cromwell's Commonwealth, but 20 years seems just a blip in the timeline of this place. And so we continue in that tradition here today. So during Advent, we're waiting. We're waiting for God. We're waiting for God to speak. We're waiting for God to right the wrongs of the world. And I think we like to think we're joining in with doing a little bit of that work ourselves. We can pray for the coming of God, but maybe we can be part of making the space for God to come in the here and now and righting some of the wrongs that we're aware of. The Old Testament prophets waited 400 years for Messiah to come. That's only a third of the life of this church. So while we've been waiting for Leicester to come out of lockdown since March, and we're pretty sick of it, we're keeping on because we think maybe we can wait a little bit longer. So at St Nicholas, we celebrate this ancient building. We live a living faith that's as relevant now as it was 1140 years ago. But we're also proud to be an inclusive community. All of us are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we see God at work in everyone's lives. So I wish you well on the Feast of St Nicholas. I wish you a spirit of generosity and a sense of hope as we wait for more of the kingdom of God.